Hi there, my name is Henry Tenby. I am a collector of aircraft display models. I'm also the author of the Aircraft Display Model Collector, Investor, and Appraisal Guide. What you're about to see are some very interesting old photographs and brochure pages from the likes of Westway Models and other makers of these incredible models that were producing them for publicity purposes back in the 50s and 60s to promote the aircraft for the British aircraft manufacturing industry. A lot of these images I have never seen before, and certainly the brochures were magic to my eyes, and I hope you'll find them just as interesting as I found them. I'm going to be narrating the pictures, and if you have any information to add or correct to what I'm sharing, please don't hesitate to provide those corrections and feedback to me in video, comments, feedback, however you feel appropriate. I'd love to hear that. Very special thanks goes to Simon Watson of the Aviation Bookshop. Thank you, Simon. It was Simon who found all this old aviation model information and thought that it would be useful to me to share with friends like you in the aviation model hobby. This is Simon's website and business. He runs the Aviation Bookshop, which is a famous bookshop for aviation lovers all over the world. They're based in the UK, and their website is provided below. So if you're looking for a very specialist old aviation book, Simon can probably help you. Simon, thank you so much for your help. And I hope everybody enjoys this video, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the models. This is a mock-up by Avro showing their Avro 748 models at an airline terminal circa early 1960s. What's nice about these models is they're actually on landing gear. I've never seen an HS 748 model on landing gear quite like one of these. I'm not sure who this gentleman is and the lovely lady. He could be Mr. Pugsley. The model in the background is a beautiful large scale, probably 1/25th scale Elizabethan. The picture appears to date from the 1960s. If anybody has any info, please let me know. The beauty that we are beholding here is a 1/24th scale cutaway of a Bristol Britannia circa early 1950s. The photos taken in the Westway Models workshops. It's just fantastic. I've never seen a picture like this before. What we're looking at here is a probably unique model, large scale, of an Avro 707 concept model. It appears to be similar in size and utility to the BAC 111. This model dates from the very early 1960s. It's a cutaway, Perspex model. Again, I've never seen such a model like this before. Here's another large-scale model taken at the Westway workshops, early 1950s. Bristol Britannia prototype. It is probably a cutaway. On the other side is probably clear. Beautiful to see this model. Just lovely work. Westway Models provided their services to all the UK airlines of the day. Here we have a nice photo showing models made for British United Airlines. We have two 1/72nd scale Dart Heralds and a much smaller scale, probably 1/200th or 1/144th of a BAC 111, also in British United livery. These models appear to be 1/72nd scale Avro 748s. We have a Skyways of London HS 748 or Avro 748, as well as a Canadian Department of Transport Avro 748 model. So it's obvious that back in the day, Avro was proposing the 748 as a transport for the Canadian Department of Transport. That's something I was not aware of. This behemoth floor model is probably a 1/25th scale Avro 748. As we can see, the windows on the starboard side are clear, which would suggest that the port side of the model might be a full Perspex cutaway. In any event, it is a very impressive model. I'd certainly love to have it in my collection. What we're looking at here is a Westway Models advert promoting their services for an early 1950s Farnborough Air Show exhibit. Their cellulose painted models are looking just gorgeous in this ad. And of course, we can see that they are promoting their services to industry. Just really amazing. I've never seen such an advert like this before. Yet another fine example of Westway Models' incredible capabilities, a large-scale 1/24 scale RAF Britannia with clear Perspex windows sitting on gear. What a monster. What a treat that model would be to own today. Unbelievable. I love the Bristol Britannia. I apologize if this photo causes stress for any minimalists in the house, but this amazing picture was taken inside the factory on the floor, showing production at the Westway Models factory, Brunel Road, in the UK in the mid-1950s. I mean, just have a look at it. There's a few models that we can pick out, but the level of, I want to say, disorganization or perhaps organized chaos really can't be overlooked. It wasn't the cleanest, most organized model shop in the world, but wow, did they ever produce some amazing models. What we're looking at here is most likely a 1/72nd scale Westway model in plastic, most probable, of a Vickers VC-10 taken in the late 1950s before the actual aircraft actually flew. They approximated or estimated what the color scheme might look like for the prototype aircraft, and it is impressive, but as we know with hindsight, this color scheme never actually was carried on an actual aircraft, but the model is absolutely beautiful, and of course, it would be extremely collectible today. The following images depict pages from a catalog from master models of Feltham Trading Estate circa early to mid-1960s. It is believed that these models that we're about to view were actually not made by master models, but were probably made by Westway Models and were just being sold or marketed jointly through master models. That is open to debate. In any event, let's get on with the pictures because there's some really fabulous stuff here. This is a 1/50th scale Boeing 707 with removable wings. The engines are nice and mega accurate. I like that. They're just looking beautiful. The wings do remove for easy shipment, and this model is quite rare. I have not seen too many in my collecting year. The caption describes this model as a 1/72nd Boac 707 metal model on metal stand. Again, I've never quite seen a model quite like this. It's more accurate than what I typically see for Boac 707 models, and I'm curious to know who is the actual maker of this particular model. This dazzling beauty is a 1/50th scale Cutaway model, Boeing 707 of a Pan Am liveried aircraft. These models were most certainly made by Westway Models. It is an absolutely gorgeous model. These have appeared, we have seen these, and they are highly collectible. And this crowd-pleasing masterpiece is a 1/24th scale Boac Comet 4 Cutaway. It's massive, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, the wings remove, and it is a Perspex Cutaway, definitely made by Westway Models. These are very collectible, very valuable. When you see them in good condition, they are worth a fortune today. And what we're looking at here are just a few of the marketing pages from the Master Models catalog, just to share some of the verbiage that they presented in this 1960s production. It's quite interesting to see, actually. I'm going to hypothesize that this photo that's in the Master Models catalog was actually taken in the Westway Models workshop. It is a beautiful Bristol Britannia model that we have here. It could be made by Master Models. I'm not sure, but dollars to donuts, I think it's Westway Models. This is a monstrous model. It's a 1/24th scale Cutaway of a Sabina Boeing 707. And this model is well known. It's a 1/50th plastic scale model of a Caravelle. Now, we all know that these models were made in quantity in France, and it is most probable that, again, the company in the UK that produced the catalog was actually a reseller of the models from France. We know as collectors that this model was actually produced by the French company Maquette d'études et d'exposition, also known as MENE. These models are very collectible. They're hard to find in great condition, but it's nice to see this photo from the early 1960s. As serious collectors, we know that this is a 1/50th Cutaway CL44 in Flying Tigers livery made by Raise Up Models in the Netherlands. So again, we're quite certain that this model did not come from a UK manufacturer, although we could be wrong. This is a really interesting picture. It dates from the late 1960s, when British European Airways changed their livery from the red square logo to the new Union Jack logo. That's shown in most of these models. Obviously, the airline gave all their models back to the model manufacturer, in this case Westway Models, to be refinished into the new liveries. Those of you with a keen eye, if you look very carefully, there is an Air Canada Vickers Vanguard model in this picture. Lastly, we close with an interesting selection of pictures from a Space Models catalog that dates from the late 1960s or early 1970s. On this page, they use a photo to illustrate a wooden pattern of a Jaguar model. So basically, as we know as model collectors, all of the Space Models that were cast from resins or polyurethanes or foam injection were actually made from master models in wood. They were wooden patterns that were used to create the molds. And here we have a picture of one such model. The photo of the Canberra in 1/72nd scale in the upper left-hand corner is of great personal interest to me. Several years ago, when Space Models went bankrupt, a lot of their patterns, the pattern models, the wooden originals, were sold on eBay. And I was lucky enough to purchase the original wooden pattern for the 1/72nd Canberra model, which is the exact same model that we see in the upper left-hand corner. So I actually own the original pattern for that model. And here again, we have a 1/24th scale 707 Perspex Cutaway model, this time in the Space Models catalog. So as we can see, there's been a lot of model overlap and apparently sharing of technology between these British model makers. We kind of knew that, but these catalogs seem to corroborate that this actually did occur back in the day. I hope you've enjoyed this film.